Okay, guys, well, thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for giving a little time to this presentation. I really appreciate it. I'm Horacio Ramirez, content and event producer for Opal Group. And well, I first of all want to thank this invitation from Eventcombo. Thank you, guys. You've been so great and so sweet to me. Thank you very much for the invitation. And well, let's start. Let's put some kind of ground rules. Well, not ground rules, but well, let's open the chat. Chat is open for you guys, so you can, whenever you feel you can have a question or you want to share some ideas or whatever, please feel free to do that. I'm completely glad to answer them or to share your comments or whatever. Chat is open. So let's start, because we have like a big thing going on today. The challenge that Eventcombo put on me or asked me to talk about how to create a foolproof event budget for 2025. Well, foolproof, that's a big challenge. I mean, it's great because it's supposed like being very precise with our budget, like doing our best to get a real budget for 2025. And there are going to be many challenges, I can tell you that. But well, the real important thing here is that doing it foolproof is going to be hard. And it's not an easy job. Many of you are professionals, I assume, in the event production industry, or you manage budgets daily, on a daily basis. Maybe some of you others are kind of new to the event industry, so welcome, guys. But doing it foolproof is kind of it's not going to do it. I mean, there's not such thing as a foolproof event budget, but at least we're going to try to do it. And what I'm doing here is, yes, here it is. What we're going to do is at least try to do it foolproof. Okay, so let's get into it. We're going to go from the very essentials. So here it is, the basics. What can I recommend for you guys to do to organize your budget? First of all, you have to separate things. In event production, we have like tons of things we have to be managing, we have to take care of, and we have to be very precise and very ordered in our way of work so we can deliver a good result. No, so maybe the basics is separate everything. Venue. Why venue goes alone? Because, well, it's a huge important part of our budget. Then we can have production cost. What's that? Maybe AB, maybe catering, I don't know, staffing, marketing, catering, miscellaneous. Okay, these 5-6 things that I can consider like general concepts will help you kind of separate everything. Let's go through each one of those. No, let's just explain each one of those. So it's going to be the event budgeting. Yes, here I am. Okay, venue, renting the space. In venue costs, you have to consider the renting the space, maybe the security, maybe any extra fees, permits that the venue has by itself. Production costs, what am I talking about? It's equipment, maybe sound, lights, staging. Then staffing. Okay, we have some fees for event crew, maybe we have performers, we have talent, maybe any support teams that we have to consider. No, marketing. This is a very important one. We have ads, we have social media promotions, we have printed materials, we have maybe even promo items or maybe merchandise we have to take care of. Catering, well, food, drinks, servers, permits. This is put a little note there on permits, okay? Why? Because permits and alcohol permits are really important in your events. Okay, so be careful about those ones. And also in miscellaneous, what you put in there, maybe your insurance, maybe other permits you have to negotiate, maybe emergency items, no, security items, I don't know. All the things that can pop out, you're going to put them there. Now we can go. Okay, then the next one we have here would be this, forecast. What am I talking here about the forecast? We have to be very accurate when forecasting our budget. And this is kind of a tip that I can give you. You have to balance realism with a bit of caution. Why is that? Because it's never going to be as accurate when you start as it is going to be as you develop and as you negotiate and as you go through with it. Okay, so what should I recommend here in forecasting? Research similar events. Look at historical data or ask vendor for ballpark estimates. You have to really go deep down to see how other events have been developed. with this kind of budgets and similar events to yours. No, break down categories. That what we did in previous slide. No, you have to break them down so you can see the different things that you have to cover. Assign percentages to major categories. Maybe no. For example, 30% of your budget is going to go in the venue, 20% is going to go in production, and so over. And the last one, add a buffer. What's that? And this is a huge recommendation. Always include like a 10-15% contingency fund to cover any surprises that come up. I recommend 10 to 50% of all your budget goes to that. Okay, how can you do that? Use a spreadsheet, use Excel, use budgeting software that can make easier for you to track and adjust as needed. So you can have like a full visual of how things and how your numbers are going. This is what I recommend here. And then the resources, allocating resources effectively. That's what we're looking at for here. Here, Layam has a comment. Thank you, Layam, for being with us. I so agree with contingency budget, and I had to learn it the hard way. Yes, that's what I recommended. Yep, you're completely right. It has happened to everybody, and whomever says no, raise your hands. It's a huge one. Consider an emergency fund. Thank you, Lion, for your comments. So let's go for allocating our resources. Spend your budget where it will have the most impact. That's my recommendation. So prioritize essentials. If you're doing an opera talent presentation for your event, then maybe don't skimp on audio equipment if it's critical for your event. I don't know if you see where I'm going here. Prioritize on the essentials, then negotiate. Vendors often will be open to work with you if you're upfront about your budget. Don't try to hide it. Don't try to go over them. Don't try to push them too much. Remember here, negotiate is about getting a win-win situation. If some of the parts is not comfortable, then it's not a good negotiation, okay? So really negotiate with vendors and be open and upfront with them with things and what you need and what you expect from them. Consider trade-offs. Maybe a cheaper venue may let you spend more money on entertainment or decor. No, you have to analyze all the requirements and see, well, what things are really important and what things can maybe be a little bit less impactful on your show, no? And we'll track spending in real time. Monitor your spending as you go to avoid surprises later. That's also a very important one. You have to be very accurate and very precise with those spreadsheets, with that software of administration, so you can have real-time tracking of how numbers are moving and where you're allocating your resources. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Here we are. You have to be completely prepared to manage the unexpected. Unexpected expenses. What's that? No matter how well you did or your planning, surprises happen and happen all the time. So here the thing is, you can prevent them from happening, but they're going to happen. I'm telling you that. So how can we be ready? That's a point here. Okay, we have a contingency fund, as we said, 10-50% buffer. That's your safety net. Consider it as that. You have to be flexible with contracts. So when you negotiate, make sure you have kind of flexible clauses that can let you adjust if plans change. Okay, try to make that in a win-win situation with your vendors. Then we have quick decision making. You have to be prepared to make decisions on the spot. Many things are not going to wait. You have to decide as you go. So be prepared for that, and be prepared also for scaling back a feature or reallocating funds or whatever your event is demanding to do on site or previously, because you have to change and you have to be very flexible with that. Make decisions quickly. You think about them and then you make them quickly. That's what I'm saying. And then team communication. Ensure everybody in the team is aligned, knows the goals you're looking for, knows the goals of the event, has it very, very clear. So everybody can adapt to those challenges and to those changes quickly, okay? You don't have the time to be discussing if this specific has to be bought, or if this venue, or if this kind of catering or this food is going to be changed or not. Make everybody conscious of their work, what are they doing, and go with it, okay? Then also here, a very important one is document everything. You have to have everything documented. Keep record of everything, including contracts, receipts, any updates to your budget. This will help you to stay organized and provide clear record for future events, and clear record for any audit or for any meetings or for any reports you have to get done, no? So please keep record of everything. Everything should be in writing, okay? Let's go to the next one. Here, I'm going kind of quick. So guys, don't worry about the presentation. I'm going to share it with you. I'm going to share it with the team at at Eventcombo, so if you need these slides, they have kind of tips. So don't worry about writing. I'm going kind of fast, I know that, but it's a lot of information, but the presentation will be available for all of you. Okay, then we have, hey Noah, thank you for joining, thank you. Okay, let's go with it and let's keep on moving. Negotiating tips for cost saving in events. I think this is kind of one of the pillars you have to navigate with. Okay, you really have to be conscious of the negotiations you're doing. And how can you do very impactful and good negotiations? Do your homework. That's a very important thing you have here to consider. Okay, research markets, research the rates for the venues, for your vendors and their services. You have to really go into it. Don't go for first option. You have to have the whole panorama, you have to benchmark, and you have to know exactly what you're looking for. So research here is fundamental. Also, know your event's value, okay? This will give you leverage. Why am I doing this? If you know exactly the event you're having, how can it benefit the community? How is it impactful on media? How is it going to be delivered to the audience? Then you have some networking opportunities coming on, you have visibility coming on, and maybe it would be a very good asset that you can leverage with negotiating, for example, with the venue. Maybe the venue wants to have your event, so you can leverage that to do a better negotiation. That's what I'm talking for, no? Many of the vendors can benefit of being in your event and have some visibility, so you can leverage that. That's the first thing you can do. Do your homework. Let's go to the next one. Bundle services. This is very important. Many vendors offer discounts if you book multiple services with them. Like a venue, for example, that includes their own catering or their own AV equipment that's already installed, and they have also their own security services, for example, with an ambulance. They have already a contract with some kind of those services, so you can bundle all that with the venue and make a better negotiation that's going one by one. So consider that. And also, for example, book multiple dates. If your event is going to be held twice a year and you like that venue, maybe try to negotiate for both dates, okay? Both times a year in one single contract, you can maybe get a better price, better offer, and more benefits, no? Let's go to the next one. Negotiate payments. What's that? Request discounts for paying upfront, or ask to spread costs, maybe over milestones to manage cash flow. That way you don't have to put it all up front. Maybe you can say, hey, okay, here is a venue, I'm going to put these two to nail it, that 25%, and then another 25% is going to go in a couple of months, and then 1 month before my event, I'm going to final my payments, no? So you can do that, or maybe many of the vendors are going, AV, for example, does a lot, you can do many of these things with them. With AV, you can say, hey, my contract is for $1,000. What about if I pay you now? My event is in 4 months or in 5 months. If I pay now, can I get a discount? Maybe you can get a 10, 50% discount that way if you pay up front. And that could maybe, I don't want to say it's savings, because if you have budget, you don't have really savings. When you're managing a budget, you're trying to get the most of each dollar, but it doesn't, you don't have to spend them. The way, the idea I want you to have is the budget that you have is to be expended. So your mission here is to get the most out of each dollar. Okay, so maybe if you get that kind of discount, maybe you have a little more for those other things that you can push up. Okay, so try to think it about that way. It's not you're saving, because budgets are not made for being saved. So then let's go for the next one. I was just pausing a little bit because I'm here reading the chat. Thank you guys. Thank you for all your input. I'm going to go through them bit by bit. If any questions, please throw them in and I'll try to cover them. Okay, so now leverage your competition. This is a very important thing to consider when you negotiate. Why is that? Because you can get multiple codes and let vendors know that you're comparing options. Don't be afraid of that. Open tender invitations. You call your 3 or 4 options of vendors that you have for everything you have in mind, AV, for example, catering, whatever it is. You call 3 or 4 options, see them on the same table at the same time, and you brief them. So then everybody knows who is competing with them. Things are quite open, things are transparent, and I think that's the best way you can do your business. It's open for them, it's clear for you, it's clear for them, everybody's happy, And who's going to win? The one who gets the best to you in contract conditions, in equipment, in service, in price, obviously, and will deliver the best and will fulfill your requirements the best way they can. No? Also here, remember, not the cheapest one is the better one. So you have to analyze that, okay? Not always the cheapest one is going to be the better one, and nobody in your company or nobody's going to put a statue for you to say, hey, he saved us $3. No, nobody's going to say that if in the event that $3 less is noted as not so good audio or not so good food or not so good drinks or not so good service. So be cautious about that and really get that now. Get that in your minds. Try to get the better rates from the vendors. Let them know that they're competing. I think that's mainly what I can recommend here on leverage competition. Then ask for perks. Don't be afraid of this. If you can negotiate a better price or whatever, then say, hey guys, then give me a little perks. What can I get for that? No, if negotiate free add-ons like an extra hour or extra equipment or no setup fees or maybe free staff that's going to be for setup or an additional thing. No, not always your negotiation has to be on price. Maybe you can negotiate better screen or bigger screen or I don't know. You get the point, but try to open your mind. It's not always about price. You can get some free add-ons that really can add value to your event. Also here we have, for example, in the next one, off-peak timing. What's this? Does your event has to be in a specific date? Well, you're going to try your best. But what if your event is programmed for a Saturday, but you maybe can do it on a Thursday, on a Wednesday? Well, maybe that could benefit on lower rates. Maybe you don't have to do it on Christmas time. Maybe you can do it on summer, or maybe you can do it on the first month of the year. Maybe January and February are going to be lower seasons in some things. No, maybe you're going to the beach and you want to go to do your event in summer. It's going to be saturated, so it's going to be high prices. But maybe you can do it on September, October, that it's kind of a lower season. You can get better prices, lower rates, and you can maybe maximize that budget that you have. No, so try to consider this. Use non-peak seasons to get lower rates. Okay, here we have another kind of question here. Let me see. Any tips for managing vendor relations during open tenders? Yes, be completely straightforward, be completely clear, be completely transparent, and you don't have to really manage them. You have to do a brief. Okay, you elaborate your brief. Maybe somebody's going to be there with you from production if you're not the producer, if you're only kind of managing budget, but get the creative team involved, maybe the head of the creative team, and explain exactly at the same time to all of them the same thing. So they're going to hear everything the same way. So there's not any favoritism for one or another. Whatever, you're going to be very open. Remember one thing, and this has already happened to you, I can bet on it. Many of our vendors, many of the pros that we have contact with in the industry know each other. So don't think that the supplier A is not going to know supplier B. Most of the times they know each other. I can tell maybe they're friends even. Maybe they're not friends, but they know each other. They know who has the industry covered. And if you're in a certain level, you're going to have to deal with these guys, and they're very kind people most of the times. So be honest with them and have a good relationship with them, build a good relationship with them. I think that's the way you have to go with. So don't be afraid of being honest. We're doing business here. Don't forget about that. We're not doing friendship. We're doing business, and maybe then we can be friends. But first, we have to talk business, and we have to be very clear, very honest, and very straightforward with them. That's what I would recommend there. So also use existing relations, and this kind of relates very much with what we're saying. If you have a very good relation with your suppliers, with your vendors, maybe this loyalty, this good relation you have with them because of prior events, because of their good service, because of their good prices, because of the good delivery that they have given to you previously, is going to give you a little leverage in negotiating. Okay, maybe you don't have to look for 4 options. Maybe you can go directly with one because you know that guy is going to step up with you, is going to be with you all the way through, and is going to get your event the best way they can. So that could give you also a good negotiation. Why? Because if you are seeking for an AV guy every time you have an event, maybe you're going to do 40, 50, I don't know, whichever number of events you do a year in your city, maybe there are going to be 10. If you seek for a vendor each time of it, and you're contracting mostly the same kind of audiovisual things that your supplier has, maybe talk to him and say, hey, I have 10 events. What can we do? Can we do kind of a global pricing? Can we freeze prices when we start the contract? You have to really build a relationship with them in order to get these loyalty discounts or a special treat. I really recommend you to do that. This is a huge one. Okay, you have to be flexible. And be flexible is, well, you have to be flexible everywhere, everything. And with budgeting, you have to be hyper flexible. Okay, be ready to open to adjust dates, be open with your timings, be open with your package options, be open to hear proposals from your vendors and suppliers. Okay, maybe they have a solution that you don't are aware of, maybe they have some new equipment, maybe they have some new menus, maybe they have some new ways of going. Remember this thing, the vendors that are involved in your events, they work for many producers, they work for many people in the industry, and they learn from other people also. So maybe all of that knowledge or maybe some of that input, they can give it to you to make your event better. So be flexible, be open, and try to keep it that way. Be fluent, be liquid. That's what I'm saying. Then plan for volume discounts. Yes, if you can buy on bulk, do it. What am I looking for here is, for example, food you can buy at bulk, promotional items, maybe you have all your merchandise, buy bulk, ask for volume discount prices. This way, maybe you can squeeze a little more of that money, maybe do those savings that I told you not to name that, but so we can get the same idea. Maybe you can get very good deals about it. Promo items, uniforms, rentals, food and beverage, all that. No. Here they're asking me another thing. How can event management platforms streamline budgeting process and reduce errors? Well, the way that those apps and platforms can help you is that you're going to have everything documented. Everything's going to be there in a written form, in a visual form. You can do graphics. You can see where your money is getting allocated, where you have to go less, where if you're going over your forecast. It's administration. Maybe this part of the event is the not so fun part. I really have fun doing budgets and negotiating, but maybe many people can see it is like the boring part. Yes, it is the boring part, but it's a part. If you don't have an effective budget management, an effective forecasting, an effective way to administrate your event, there's not going to be an event, or at least there's not going to be a successful event. So really go into there and into your apps, into your administration software, into your Excel sheets, into your spreadsheets, and document everything. That's the way it's going to help you streamline your process. Okay, that's what I recommend. Now let's go to what roles. Okay, now we're getting to the top things. What role does AI play in predicting and controlling unexpected event expenses? Okay, I'm going to give you my input on AI in this. AI is huge, but what I think of AI is really helpful in budgeting is imagine or take AI as the biggest data center you can have. But everything you can ask to AI, ask what's the pricings, what are historic pricings, what are it's not about predicting. AI is going to give you that data so you can analyze and then you do the work. AI is not going to do the budgeting for you. That I can tell you. So it's not going kind of that easy way that maybe AI can help us go, but I think for analyzing data and giving some benchmarking input and taking out this information, it would be very, very useful. Okay. We have already talked about volume discounts, and let me go to the last slide of this part, that is document everything. Okay, we have talked about this. Confirm agreed terms in writing to avoid unexpected charges later, and always get it unwritten. Everything has to be written, everything has to come into you in writing. And yes, read it again, in writing. All your contracts, all your agreements, all your special clauses, all your add-ons to contracts, everything that you are going to pay for has to have a written support. Okay, emails, contracts, whatever it is, but have it in writing. That's my huge recommendation here. And let's go through another part here. That is, everybody and in your companies, I know you're looking for that famous return on investment. And the question here is, how can we maximize it in an event? That's a big deal. And we're going to talk here about that investment and the return you have to look for on it. It will not always be money. It not always is revenue. It not always is money. Let me go through it so we can have like a clearer think of what I'm saying. I'm going here through my notes. Okay, let's go. How can we maximize our ROI? We have to cover some essentials here. No, first one: set clear goals and realistic goals. Okay, now if you define what success of your event looks like, it's going to be much easier to achieve that goals, to set that goals and then to achieve that return of investment. And what am I talking here? What's your success? It's more leads, it's an increase on sales and revenue, is brand awareness what you're looking for, is attendee satisfaction. How is your return of investment going to be measured? No, if you have a clear and real goal, you're going to have it half the way done, because you know what you're looking for and what your investment should be, the return that you're expecting, how you're going to measure it, and what is it going to be. It's not always money. It can be brand awareness, attendee satisfaction, what I have just said. So just have it in mind. The second one, the more you know your audience, the more you're going to be in capacity to get that ROI. Okay, so keep it in mind. Also, optimize your marketing spend. What is this? You have to really analyze and focus on cost-effective channels like email marketing, organic social media, partnership and promotions. You have to really think of marketing not to get likes. You have to be effective. You have to elevate your ratings. Okay, so go for effectiveness, not go for likes. Okay, and always measure. If you don't measure it, it doesn't worth it. It is not good, because you don't have any idea on where to take the next decisions or how you can optimize your budget and your expenses. No, so please measure everything and analyze that data. The other thing is, other way to maximize your return of investment is leverage sponsorships. What's this? Partner with brands that align with your events team to offset costs and to add value for attendees. Many times we have brands that want to go to our event, but maybe they're not so appealing to our customers, or maybe they don't have this very good image or brand image with our customers or with other sponsors. So try to really leverage your relations with sponsorships, no? And partner with those brands that are really going to add value to your event. Be very careful. It's not about selling. It's about giving the most value to your event so you can make it many times more, or you can get the best out of it. Okay, not because somebody comes with a lot of money, wants to pay, you're going to have it in if it's not going to give you value, or in the worst case, it's going to reduce value to your event. No, so be very aware of how to leverage your sponsorships. Also, look for high impact features. What is this about? Invest in elements that provide the most value to your attendees. Engaging speakers, unique experiences. Really focus on what your audience is expecting and go all over it. Really throw it in there to make the full impact in their minds, in their feelings, and that will create, or that would be more of an effective event for you, no? So that's what I can recommend here. Really focus on the experiences you're going to give to your attendees. Here comes another question. Let me see. How much percentage of your total budget needs to be dedicated towards marketing actions? Well, it's not like there's a set number, but I would recommend like maybe no more than 30%. Why is that? Because you can do many alliances. So let's divide here like in two. One is the marketing budget that you're going to spend, and the other one is the one you're going to leverage. From whom? From your sponsors, maybe from getting alliances with some influential people for your event, maybe doing some organic, maybe taking your sponsors and say, hey, Can you help me promote in your websites, they want to get the people in. So I won't recommend you pay more than maybe 30, tops 35%. It depends on the event. But I won't recommend you to allocate more than 30% of your budget for marketing. It varies, but well, that can we set like as a recommendation. No, let's go on with the presentation here and focus on high impact. Okay, use technology. This is very important one. Why is this? Because it can help you really optimize and streamline your budget and have this return of investment. Invest in elements that provide most value to attendees. And that was the last one. And incorporate tools for ticketing, check-ins, and audience engagement to reduce manual labor and streamline operations. What is this? Really invest. Technology can save you a lot of money. Maybe in first instance, you have to make an investment of technology, but that's technology you're going to use, and focus on buying technology that you're going to use for many events, not for one event. If you're going to use it for only one event, rent it. Don't buy it, you rent it. If you're going to use it in a daily basis, for example, a ticketing software, event management software, maybe you can buy it and you're going to divide that expense in different events, or you're going to allocate it in different events. So it's not going to be such a heavy load on only one event. And also look for software or apps that can be scalable, that can have modules that help you grow as you need. That's one you have to do. But yes, use technology. That's a huge one. It could save you money, time, and expenses on people and operations. Manual labor would be reduced so much. Okay, then let's go to the next one. Post-event follow-up. This would also help you to maximize your ROI. Here we are. Follow-up. Engage attendees after the event and with thank you mails, surveys, and offers to turn them into repeat customers or leads. Make attendees and brand repeat customers. This is such huge for your return on investment. Why is that? Because it's easier to have a very satisfied customer buy you again than to go and look for a new one or go look for new attendees every time. Try to make them loyal, try to make them part of your event, try to make them a part of your brand. If they feel good about your event, if they like to post on your event, if they like to share with their friends about attending your event or your brand, you're 80% there. Okay, try to make your attendees and your sponsors and your customers loyal. Okay, and how can you do that? With a continuous relationship and post-event follow-up. This is very, very important to maximize return on investment. Also, measure return of investment metrics. This is very important. Track key indicators like ticket sales, sponsorship revenue, attendee feedback, social media engagement, new business deals. Okay, you are going to decide which are going to be these metrics, what things you are going to measure, and review your goals, analyze your data, and make new decisions. Okay, having these metrics and knowing how to analyze your data is going to help you develop better events and grow your event for next occasions. No, so this is really, really good. Then repurpose content. This is a very important one. Many times we have our event and everybody's taking pictures, and we have our photographer and we have our video man, video guy, and we do final video, and that's it. Well, all that material really leverage, repurpose it. Okay, go for future marketing campaigns. Maybe ask or do a contest or do something on social media, asking your attendees to collaborate with their own pictures, to use the hashtags, to post on their Instagram accounts. Really try to repurpose your content. Okay, put a gallery up so people can download pictures of the event. I don't know, there are many ways. The important thing here is when your event is over, all the marketing things, all those pictures, all that video footage you have, it doesn't go to the end of the hard drive. Okay, really try to make it worth it. Okay, you have the material, you have to leverage it. That's what we're saying here. And seek for feedback. This is also a very, very important one. Demonstrate value to your stakeholders. Learn from your attendees, from your sponsors and staff to identify areas of improvement and demonstrate value to the stakeholders. All feedback that you can get from your event is going to help you maximize your return on investment. Good feedback is great. Bad feedback is even better because it's going to let you know which things you have to improve. Okay, so don't hesitate on asking for feedback. This is very, very important. And also, always have a post-event debrief with your suppliers. Do a meeting, go and do a sponsors gathering, gather your team, do some service with your attendees. No, get those information, do a debrief to see what went well, what went not so well, what are your improvements, which areas you can improve on, and this would help you a lot. Then here's another question from Olivia. Hi, Olivia. Can you share an example where innovative budgeting strategies lead to a significantly higher return on investment? Innovative budgeting strategies. We're going to see strategies just in our next one. So I think you have just get through it. I hope the next slides will answer your question, Olivia. So let's go with it. What's this? In 2025, we're going to see several trends and challenges that would influence event budgeting, primarily driven by technology, maybe sustainability, shifting audiences' expectations. No, so let's go to some of these challenges and maybe some strategies on how to mitigate them. This is going to give you that maybe creative ways to take a swing on them. First, a trend that it's coming, that has already been there, and it's going to be, I think, for a long time. The integration of hybrid events, blending in-person events and virtual reality and augmented reality experiences. People are demanding this. These events demand flexibility, demands investment, demand both physical and digital infrastructure, but they're here to stay, and people are going to be asking for them. And it's a good tool to have in our events to engage with our audiences. What I should do there, or the strategy that I can suggest, is prioritize on essential investments, prioritize on technology investments, and choose platforms offering scalable features to minimize unnecessary costs. That's a little bit of what I was saying previously. Invest in software or invest in technology that can be scalable, that you can grow with it, and that technology can grow with your events. But these events, this hybrid thing, and these online, in-person, and hybrid events are here to stay. So be prepared for them. Also, we're going to be seeing rising costs and staffing shortages. This is also going to be staying. Inflation is going to be there. So increasing operational costs and labor shortages will challenge event budgets. Inflation and supply chain issues may impact vendor pricing and resources availability. How can we face this? Build relationships with multiple vendors to leverage competitive prices, include contingency funds to handle unexpected increases in costs. Okay, consider those contingency funds, that buffer that we say, that kind of reserved budget, keep it in, hold it. Okay, don't expand, don't set it away quickly, and build solid relations. This can really help you to make it through the forecast you have made with your budget. Also, another big one is going to be focus on sustainability. Our attendees and the industry and suppliers and vendors and everybody, sponsors, brands that sponsors our events, have this sustainability pressure now. So this will shift from being a value added to a necessity, with eco-friendly practices and becoming a standard. This may include also cost for green certified venues, recyclable materials, or carbon offset programs. This is going to be also very important. So it's a standard now. Sustainability is a standard. We have to make our events sustainable. So invest in a sustainable practices that provide long-term services, communicate green efforts, make sure that your people knows that you're doing something in pro of sustainability. This will give you a little leverage there so you can get a better relation and engage more with your audiences. Demand for personalization, more than ever. People are expecting high-tailored experiences, recurring data-driven solutions for content and networking and on-site activities. People want it just the way they're asking it for, just the way they're expected to. So here you can use AI. Yes, here comes AI with tools as a tool to customize attendee experiences. Invest in measuring engagement. What's this? It's managing data. Remember something with AI. If you really know your customer, your target audience, you can ask AI, you can prompt it to, hey, let me know what these kind of people, do some personas, to get your buyer personas correct, work with your marketing team, and try to get it focused so when you prompt AI, you really get information you need. Remember that AI is a huge database management, but the quality of the information you get from it is completely related to the quality of the way you ask. If you ask the right questions in the right way, in the right form, you're going to get the right answers, and very valuable answers. So play with it, go into it, but don't expect AI to do the work for you. That's not going to happen. That's not the way it happens. That's not the way it works. I can tell you that. So try to know your buyers, try to know your customers. The best you know them is the best service you can offer to them. That delivery is going to be better. No, the greater use of advanced technology. Yes, here the increased adoption of AI and automation will streamline operations, but may involve initial setup costs. Yes, we have some new software that use AI and can help us manage things and manage operations basically. No, but you have to invest in them. And not everybody's going to have that money in the initial basis. So evaluate your return of investment of each tool you're planning to buy, or any software or anything that you're planning to invest in, and focus on scalable solutions. This is a huge one, okay? Don't go for the best, don't go for the high price app if you don't need that. No, try to really do your research, and that way you're going to maximize the way you get your return on investment. No, also another huge trend that it's coming on the next years is going to be inclusivity and accessibility. We have it now, but it's going to be growing every time. So diverse needs include now multilingual support, and maybe this diversity, equity, and inclusiveness focused programming. So what's the strategy here? Partner with inclusivity consultants. Don't try to guess it or to make it as you know it. Really go to a consultant, try to see what is the plan that they can give you, and early integrate it to your requirements without overspending. Do a plan how you can integrate all these recommendations, all these requirements, and all these facilities you have to provide to your attendees and to your event without overspending. The better you plan and the earliest you plan to include these strategies is going to be better, and it's going to really help you in the implementation. Okay, so now we have talked about strategies, we have talked about return of investment, we have had a lot of ideas in the table. So now is how to navigate this challenge. How can we do it? How can we really nail this to not just be on paper or on a presentation? Okay, first thing, you have to get a dynamic basis budgeting. You have to be flexible, you have to be ready for shifting priorities and unforeseen changes. You have to regularly review expenses against forecast in order to stay on track. Okay, so be flexible, be dynamic, be creative. Many of you can say, hey, Horacio, but budgeting and doing all these numbers is not so creative. Oh, yes, it is. I can tell you, yes, it is. And it takes a lot of creativity and imagination to really nail this the better way. Also, you have to look for your strong vendor negotiations. Long-term vendor relations can really help you. Use transparent contracts to mitigate surprises. Okay, we have already talked about this, but it's the way to go. This is how you are going to get to that budget foolproof we're talking in the beginning of this session. So really build these relationships, okay? Remember, negotiating is about having a win-win. It's not about twisting the others or pushing too hard. It's about getting a win-win situation. If both parts are comfortable, then the event and the solutions provided and everything is going to work. I mean, everything is going to work. You're going to be comfortable and your supplier is going to be comfortable working with you. Enhance return of investment tracking. Measure everything. You have to measure everything. Use insight to refine budget allocation, okay? And you have to be flexible. So really have clear goals with your team. Know where you have to to allocate your budget in the first instance and be ready for that track. Have everything in writing. Have those spreadsheets. Do it whichever way you organize your event budget, but you have to really do the track, okay? You have to be constantly reviewing it. Also, a very important way you can go is green funding opportunities. Why is that? We talked about sustainability, we talked about the new trends. Well, there are many organizations out there that maybe are willing to fund or sponsor eco-friendly initiatives for mutual brand enhancement. And here I want to underline this has to be mutual, okay? It's always about win-win, always about win-win. And there are organizations like many Save the Planet and Save the Puppies and Save whatever. I don't want to go through it, but you know what I'm talking about, that maybe you can reach out and say, hey, I'm doing this really good event that is focusing on these sustainability practices. Can you fund my event? Can you jump in and help us with this? Because what they're going to win in their branding, they're going to winning their exposure. So try to look for them, and maybe that could be a bit of a strategy that you can use here. And also very important is continuous learning. We have to keep on learning every time. This is also from the strategies we can do for how to do this. Keep up to speed with the industry trends, keep up with any changes that you can be in. Do networking with peers and with other companies from yours. These kind of relationships can really offer some real good insight, so you can move with innovative budget solutions. You can learn from everybody out there, learn for your peers, and also very important, go and scout your competitor events. Okay, go to those events, see what they're doing. I'm not talking here about copying what they're doing, but learn from the good practices that they have. No, if you want to go and do some industry meetings, you can go to webinars like this one, you can go and attend whatever you can. Just keep on learning, and maybe that way you're really going to see some things good in going in your event budgeting. That's mainly it. The last two slides I had is about how to do your return of investment calculations. This is all about event net profit. This is talking about how can you calculate your return of investment. No, so the formula is going to be on the presentation. I don't know what happened with it, but well, it's not working now. But I'm going to share it with you guys, and please feel free to contact me if you have any doubts, or if you can continue, if you want to continue with this conversation, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to get back to me. But well, the last slide, it's only a really simple formula in which return of investment can be calculated. And this is very simple. Is your event net profit divided on your event total cost. And then you're going to multiply that by 100 to get a percentage. And what's a good, and this always comes up. Hey, Horacio, what's a good return of investment, or what's an expected reference for a good ROI in our events? Well, you have corporate events like conference and trade shows and that kind of stuff. A good ROI would be about 25 to 50%. That's a very good one. If you have 50% plus, then you're talking about maybe high profile events that you can outweigh cost with sponsorships, with sales, with new business that you have already made. But if you're around 25 to 50%, you're very good, you're in a very good shape. Ticketed events, like concerts, festivals, to name some. If you're around 25 to 50%, you're very good. This is kind of a typical good return on investment. This vary greatly depending on ticket pricing, attendance, and maybe some accessory revenue like merchandise sales or food sales or whatever, no? But if you're around 25 to 50%, you're in a very good shape. Then we have other kind of events, the non-profits, for example, or the fundraising events. If you're there around 50% plus, that's where you should be looking for. Okay, this is a common goal, 50% plus. Now here, this kind of different, because return of investment is evaluated in terms of funds raised, or maybe donor engagement or awareness. This is kind of different, but if you should be looking in those ones for 50% plus. And in marketing events, for example, Here is calculated a little bit different. You're looking here in a 5-to-1 or a 10-to-1 basis is a good return of investment. And I say 5-to-1, telling you that if for each dollar you spend $1, you're expecting 5 on return. If you spend, that's the ratio. For each dollar you spend, you should be expecting like 5 or $10 in return. That's how marketing events work, and that's how maybe you can say you're going to be in a good shape to do your events. If you're less than that, guys, review your budgets. You should really be kind of looking for something more, and you should be reviewing maybe not your budget, but your forecast. Maybe there's something that you're not doing really accurate. You should do some research, and you should really try to get into it, because then it's not business and that's not working. So that's what I recommend. I think we have come to the end. I have some time and some questions here. I don't know if you have anything you would like to. And here, yes, we have some other questions. How to handle last minute changes or unexpected costs without going over budget. That's why you have that little pocket. You remember that 10-15% that you have reserved for any unexpected or for any surprises, and you have to cover. That's why you have it. So that's the way you have to go for it. No. Then, how can stage management platform streamline budgeting? We have also answered that one. And let me see, we have some other questions here. Well, I think we're almost set. Any question, guys? I'm going to type here. You can find me on LinkedIn as H. Ramirez Marketing. There it is, you have it there. And you also can find me in Instagram. You have it there. I have put it on the chat so everybody can see it. You can find me in LinkedIn as H. Ramirez Marketing and in Instagram as @HR_Garfield. So if guys, you have any questions, anything I can help you with, I would be open. I'm very open to chatting with you. We can learn from each other, and I would really like to hear from you. So if any questions, anything that comes further, the team on Eventcombo will sure help us. Send me your questions and I can answer them directly. And well, I think that's it for today. And thank you very much to Eventcombo. Thank you, Liam. Thank you, everybody that has been connected. And well, thank you very much for the invitation. I hope this was insightful. This was what you expected. And the full presentation will be sent to Eventcombo so they can make it available for all of you. Or you write me to my LinkedIn. You can find me there as Horacio Ramirez and H. Ramirez Marketing, as I put it in the chat. Thank you very much to all the team at Eventcombo. See you soon. Bye-bye.